Recent political change in Eastern Europe has brought with it wrenching economic change. But one Eastern European country was already well on the road to a market economy. That nation is Hungary. Hungary's Minister of Trade has spent this week in Washington and New York trying to increase the flow of dollars to his country in both aid and investment. Grant Perry has the story.
When Tamas Beck, Hungary's Minister of Trade, looks out at New York's skyline from Paine Webber's headquarters, he sees more than tall buildings. He sees money.
If you look across the river, the white buildings across the river, there are buildings. We have them.
Beck has mastered New York shorthand, and the former head of the Hungarian Chamber of Commerce is trying to learn American business lingo as well on his week-long visit to the United States. He has been welcomed by a number of leaders of American business, here by Donald Marin, the chairman of Paine Webber.
We've been following the developments in Hungary very carefully and very exciting. This country went through its own revolution a long time ago, and we're very happy to see that yours is going to be very successful.
Revolution or evolution, something clearly is happening in Hungary. Just listen to the members of the Hungarian trade delegation. They're not just officials, they're businessmen with a newly Western perspective, like the head of Hungary's largest retail chain. When it was his turn to talk, Hungary's Minister of Trade didn't beat around the bush. Everything is important that brings profit, he says. An understatement. Hungary desperately needs foreign capital. The country's $90 billion economy is stagnant. It labors under a foreign debt burden of $20 billion, the largest per capita debt in Eastern Europe. The adjustment to a market-oriented economy will cause inflation and unemployment. That's why Beck is here, meeting with the likes of Paine Webber, Solomon Brothers, A&P, and GE. Beck says Hungary needs more than new joint ventures. He emphasizes Hungary wants foreign participation in existing Hungarian companies. Grant Perry, CNN Business News, New York.
Joining us now to talk about economic change in Hungary and its implications for trade with the West, Tamas Beck, Hungary's Minister of Trade. Welcome to Moneyline, Minister.
Thank you very much.
You were depicted as a champion of profit, a change. Well, you have just been down in Washington speaking to many of the political leaders in our trade and commerce machine in this country. What are you asking for?
Oh, I was invited by Mr. Mosbacher, Secretary of Commerce. He was in September in Hungary, and we had very good discussions with Mr. Mosbacher. In the first part of the next year, we will have a new U.S.-Hungarian trade agreement, and this will build on the changes which happened in the last month.
What does Hungary want?
Hungary wants free business possibilities in the U.S., the same possibilities for trade and business as any other countries, without restrictions, without quotas, and without contingents, and wants foreign investment for a structure changing in the Hungarian industry.
Now, you just struck a $150 million deal with General Electric. Is that the sort of deal you want?
I don't know of this is the sort. In Hungary, there are now 650 joint venture companies with Western participation. About the 650, excuse me, only 30 is the U.S.-Hungarian joint venture company, and only a few is working in the production.
One of the, excuse me, Mr. Minister, one of the things I wanted to point out is that you're trying to put foreign investment incentives in place. An important one that I read in the research is that you're guaranteeing the repatriation of capital if any problems develop.
Hungary paid till now all the debt what was taken by the former governments, and Hungary punctually and exactly. We doesn't ask for moratories as other countries. But to have a structure changing and pay back a very high debt service this year, more than $3 billion, is for us impossible. To do the same to do both at the same time. And therefore we need foreign investment, working capital, and foreign participation in a lot of Hungarian companies and the industry.
Now, in a lot of ways, when the Minister of Trade has to go over to the United States, you're on the road. You almost have to be selling. I'm an American capitalist. Why should I invest in Hungary as opposed to Czechoslovakia or Poland?
This is a very good question, and we doesn't think that your investment banks or your companies will invest in Hungary because they have a good heart. They will only invest if they see that the money is safe in Hungary and the profit is high.
You are ahead of some of your compatriots in the Eastern Bloc. How does it feel to have this free market approach? You're about a year ahead in many ways in setting up the market structures.
Yes, in Hungary we are doing something what never happened in the history. At the same time we are building up a pluralistic democratic system and a market economy, a real working good market economy. Because if Spain and Portugal went over from a dictatorship to a democratic system, they had a market economy. And so it was much easier. But I think we will solve this problem.
Well, good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Tamas Beck, Minister of Trade from Hungary. When we return, Moneyline columnist Dan Dorfman will